This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all had a great Christmas or, whatever celebrations you've just had. One super yacht that is definitely having a white Christmas is motor yacht Octopus. Now, if you're a flat earther, please change the channel now because we're going to talk about the Antarctic. And motor yacht Octopus has been in the last few days in the Antarctic. She traveled down there last week. To get down to the Antarctic, you have to cross the Drake Passage, which is one of the most atrocious places I've ever been for weather. You can get instances where it is like glass, but for every time I went, it was really pretty bad. So hopefully they had a smooth crossing. You can see in the AIS pictures here that she is anchored off Neko Island, which is actually not that far from the Peruvian section of the Antarctic, which is called Machu Picchu Base. So yes, she's down there on charter in actual fact. Now, you probably know that this vessel used to be owned by Paul Allen, the late Paul Allen, but it was sold to a chap called Roger Samuelsson, who's a Swedish billionaire, and it is now a charter yacht. It is actually the largest charter yacht in the world because it is a 10,000, just shy of 10,000 gross ton charter yacht, which is actually more gross tonnage than Flying Fox, which is considered to be the largest charter yacht in the world. Flying Fox is the most expensive charter yacht in the world at $3 million a week, and this one is $2.2 million a week. So yeah, so she's down there having a white Christmas. So hope they enjoy it. So we'll move on. We'll quickly talk about this other yacht called Motor Yacht Vixit. You can see here what happens to a yacht when it runs aground. These pictures were taken in a shipyard a couple of months back, showing the result of this vessel running aground. I don't have an awful lot of details about where she ran aground or the details of the accident. If you know more about it, please get in touch and let me know. But you can see here that the stabilizers have been completely ripped off, and the anti-fouling has been scratched off, and indentations across all of the underneath of the hull there, so it's pretty bad. It's repairable, and I'm sure it's already been repaired. Like I said, these are a couple of months old, these photographs, but that's what happens to a boat when it runs aground, depending on what it hits, of course. All right, so we'll go on to the main story here, and this is about Jeff Bezos. You might be aware Jeff Bezos has had a super yacht built recently, a 127-meter sailing yacht. It is the largest sailing yacht in the world when delivered. That boat will be called Koru, I believe, according to sources, K-O-R-U. Now, you might remember also the uproar when that boat was originally going to be completed upriver in the Netherlands with the masts in place, and they were going to dismantle temporarily a bridge in the Netherlands to get the boat through. And a lot of people said that they were going to go down there and egg the boat. They built up a petition on Facebook to get people together to go down and egg the boat when it passed through. And as a result of that, they actually changed their plans. They didn't put the masts in place. They kept the masts off, and they took it a different way at night, top secret. And then they put the masts in later on when they got it downriver. So yeah, that was all as a result of that egging threat. But you might be surprised to hear that that's not the yacht I'm talking about when I say that this boat is almost completed, this second boat. So what's actually happening is he's built two super yachts simultaneously. You've got the main sailing yacht, and he's got this boat, which is known as a support vessel or a shadow vessel. Now, what is a shadow vessel? A shadow vessel is simply that. It is a vessel that shadows the main yacht wherever it goes. And it carries things like helicopters and toys, boats, sea-doos, submarines. It can have hyperbaric chambers on board, medical center, all those kinds of things. It also is finished to super yacht standards, so it will have very high-end cabins on board, so we can actually bring on extra guests. For instance, if he wants to keep his main sailing yacht to himself, but he wants to have guests with him and bring them over to dine and stuff like that, he can put them on the support vessel, and then he can stay in total privacy on the super yacht. These are all, I'm not saying that that's what he's going to do, but these are the kinds of things that people who have support vessels, that's what they do with them. And like I said, they carry all the toys too. So his second yacht is a 75 meter, this is the support vessel, a 75 meter yacht. It's going to be named Wingman according to sources, although the vessel currently still has its build number on it, which was Yankee Sierra 7512, which is the build number from Damon Yachting where it was built. So he's got two yachts come along, two brand new yachts. Now, while we're on the subject of Jeff Bezos, because every time I do a story about Jeff Bezos, there'll be a comment or two saying, what about Nord, or what about Flying Fox? Did he sell that boat? He never owned those boats. If you, in actual fact, if you go to Google and you type in Jeff Bezos yacht, you will see many, many photographs of different yachts, including Flying Fox, Octopus, Nord, Rising Sun. There are many, many boats. Kensho is another boat I saw when I did this Google earlier. There's many, many boats attributed to Jeff Bezos. Apparently, you just put a picture of a yacht and Jeff Bezos and you get lots of views. But those boats don't belong to him, and they never did. He never owned Nord, he never owned Flying Fox. He's never owned a yacht before. I think he may have chartered Flying Fox at one point, probably got seen on board, and then that's where it came from. But he doesn't own, and never has owned, those yachts. All right, we'll move on now to another yacht in the news, and this is Motor Yacht Luminosity. Now, this is a story that we are breaking here. Now, Motor Yacht Luminosity is a 107 meter yacht, 353 feet, and it was delivered in 2020 by Bonetti. Now, the original owner reportedly refused delivery of this boat, and Bonetti put the boat up for sale. Now, what happened is the new owner, the person who purchased the vessel, his name is Andrei Guryev. Now, you may be familiar with that name because we have talked about it before on the channel. He also owns a yacht called Alpha Nero, which is currently laid up in Antigua and has been boarded by the FBI in recent months. Now, when he bought Luminosity, it was all a bit weird because the boat was very rapidly prepared and delivered to Tivat in Montenegro, to where that was the delivery location of the yacht. And within a few days of the boat arriving there, Andrei Guryev was placed on the sanctions lists. Now, he was originally placed on sanctions by Europe and then later by the US. And as a result of that, the boat has sat in Montenegro ever since. As far as I know, he's never been on board, and the boat has just been sat there. Now, the reason why we're talking about it today is because as the owner was sanctioned, the management company, which is Burgess Yachts, you may have heard me talk about them before, they severed ties with the yacht straight away, which they were required to do because of the sanctions, because no company is allowed to work with any yacht owned by a sanctioned individual. And so they actually sent an email to all of the crew when they learned of the sanctions, and here's a copy of that email, and it says, "It is with regret that we find ourselves in a position where we must end the employment of all the crew on Luminosity because of sanctions. Please find attached a letter confirming the final monies you are owed. The letter explains the process, and we will keep you updated as regards to the success of the license applications. If you have any questions, please direct them to me." And that was from the fleet crew manager for Burgess. Now, what she's referring to there is licenses. Now, what happens is when a yacht is sanctioned, or when an owner is sanctioned who owns a yacht, the company has to apply to HM Treasury for a license in order for them to be allowed by law to pay those crew. Now, we contacted the fleet crew manager from Burgess, Lucy Med. We contacted her and we asked her, what's happening with that application. And we got a statement back from Burgess. She said, "We applied for a license in March 2022 and we are baffled why it is taking so long to get it. I suspect the OFSI, this is the HM Treasury, have been inundated. Also, we have had to start an additional license in May when the US applied sanctions. We are now receiving assistance from Cheryl McCann, strategic organizer at Nautilus, the Seafarer Union, to push the OFSI to provide the license. I agree it's taking too long, but we cannot do anything without the license." So they're in contact with a British Seafarers Union who is assisting them in communicating with the government. So we contacted HM Treasury and the OFSI, and they came back to us with a response. And they said that thanks for getting in touch on this. The following information is on background. And then it says, in line with data protection obligations, OFSI cannot comment on the details of specific license applications. I'd point to Chapter 6 of the OFSI General Guidance, which gives examples of some of the exceptions to find sanctions restrictions and so on and so forth. It's just nonsense, really. So basically, they've used the lamest excuse the government can find to not answer that question, and that is about data protection. Now, we in the UK have data protection laws, which on the whole is a good thing. It means that people can't hold on to data that they don't have good reason to have. There are limitations on how long they can keep data, etc. But it is very often used as an excuse for not giving out information. And in this particular case, the government should be explaining why it's taken so long. I mean, it's like 8 or 9 months now. So we've got no answer, unfortunately. We're going to keep pushing the government to give us an answer and to trying to find out what is going on with that license, because those crew are still not being paid 8 months later. All right, so if you have any information on that story, by the way, please be sure to get in touch. If you have any information about any other stories as well, please be sure to get in touch through the normal fashion. You can get us on the About page of the YouTube channel. You can get us on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, and you can also get us on Threema. Also, before I go any further, be sure to vote for the Super Yacht of the Year in our poll, which is posted on YouTube. I will post a link to this video in the description below. Be sure to vote. This is the last time we're going to mention it, because the video will be coming out in the next couple of days as to which yacht is the Super Yacht of the Year. Be sure to check the criteria before you vote also. One last thing, be sure to check out our Patreon page. You can find it at patreon.com/esysman. You'll get to see exclusive videos not published on YouTube. We've got the Atlantic vlog videos, which have proven very popular. They're on there right now. There's still more to come out. You'll get to see early releases of features with no adverts, and you'll also get to suggest topics for future videos and questions for upcoming Q&As. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Be sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell for future notifications. All right, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.